I'll be here are my NFL Week 14 game predictions. I'll be predicting the spreads and over-unders based on FanDuel, and I'll give my opinions on them, and then I'll explain any shifts that I place on these spreads and over-unders. The Saints at the Jets, so I expect the Saints to win and cover the spread at 5.5. This is because they shouldn't throw 4 interceptions again this week. They're playing against a Jets defense that isn't that great. Hence why I think this will go over 42.5. The Saints will put together something to score at least in the high 20s, and then I don't expect too much from the Jets, but they'll put up enough to bring this over 42.5, but not close enough to have the Saints win by less than 6 points. For the Falcons and the Panthers, so the current spread is Panthers at -2.5. I would move that to -6.5. I believe Cam Newton will be more comfortable in the Panthers offense this week, and I don't expect the Falcons to score too much. And then even with Cam Newton being more comfortable with the offense, I believe the passing's still going to be rough, so it's going to be more rushing down the field, which is going to take more time to score the ball. Hence why I think it'll be 41.5. For the Seahawks and the Texans, I expect the Seahawks to cover the spread and even more. Hence why I think it'll be -12.5. For the overall game, the Texans shouldn't score more than 14. And the Seahawks, I think, should score over 30. It's like they are playing the Texans. That is kind of the theme with the season, is that the Texans do not score that much, and then whoever they're playing, they score a lot. So over 40.5. For the Raiders at Kansas City, I expect the Chiefs to cover the 9.5 spread, as they did back earlier, a few weeks ago. And since then, Kansas City has been playing more cohesively. They've not turned the ball over as much, so kind of makes it easier to score the ball when you have the ball in your hands. And then the Raiders, they've been struggling, and so it's just kind of like one team's forming together while the others kind of falling apart. But I do expect the Raiders to put up more points this week than they did last time when they only scored 14 against the Chiefs. So maybe like bump that up into the 20s, but I do expect Kansas City to score in the 30s again or above. And hence why I think it would be over 47.5. For Baltimore at the Browns, so I don't expect Lamar Jackson to throw 4 interceptions again, but I do expect the Browns defense to be very good, as they were last time. But I do expect their offense to be much better, as they'll be able to convert on the opportunities given to them. Hence why I think over 42.5. And the Browns -3. Baltimore has injuries. Browns will learn from their mistakes from a few weeks ago and then turn around and win this game this time around. For the Cowboys at the Washington football team, so Cowboys are loaded with talent. They should win against Washington, even though Washington's been playing decent. All their games have been close. What if the Cowboys jump off to an early lead, which I expect something of that to happen? The Cowboys should be able to hold on to that lead. So I think this will go, if I were to choose on the spread, I'd go over 48, because the Cowboys can pump up a lot of points, but to be safer, I'd do over 44.5. Just give a little wiggle room. For the Jaguars at the Titans, I expect the Jaguars to cover the spread. Tennessee still has injuries like to Derrick Henry and some key receivers, so they're not going to score too much. Their offense is going to be as tight. Even though they had a bye week, I don't expect them to be scoring as many points. And the Jaguars, well, it is the Jaguars. I don't expect them to score too much either, as they've been changing their offense. They've been struggling, but I do expect them to cover +8. And since if both teams are going to be struggling offensively, under 43.5. For the Lions at the Broncos, I expect the Broncos to beat the Lions, but I'd bump that down 3 points for Broncos -7. The Lions have a few illnesses that they're dealing with, so some players are going to be out, and kind of hard to follow up your win with another win if you're missing some people. So I expect the Broncos to win by -7, and they're going to learn from their previous week, from their mistakes, and then turn around and then beat up on the Lions, hence what the rest of the league does, except for the Vikings. And I expect this to go over 42, with a lot of those points coming from the Broncos. For the Giants at the Chargers, I expect the Chargers to cover the -8.5 spread. This is mostly due to the fact that the Chargers have to prove themselves as a playoff team, and they can put up a lot of points, hence why the over 43. Most of these points should be coming from the Chargers. At least 30 should be coming from the Chargers. If they want to prove that they should make the playoffs, this is their game to beat up on opponents that they should. For the 49ers at the Bengals, I'm pretty bearish on the 49ers. Every time I watch them play, I just feel slow-paced. So that's why I chose the under for the 49. And then for the spreads, the current spread is +2, but I expect the Bengals to win this, and I expect them to actually cover a -2.5 spread. I think it'll be like a dogfight this game, slow. So it's going to be low scoring, but Bengals will figure out how to win this one. For the Bills at the Bucks, you're playing at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to score a lot, but I think the Tampa Bay defense will slow down the Bills and slow them down enough to where the total will be under 54, even though I do expect the Bucks to still score, maybe like high 20s, low 30s. But it's going to stay under 54. And Bucks, I say the Bucks will win by at least 10 because they're holding the Bills below probably like 16 points. And kind of easy to win by at least 10 points when you're the Bucks, when you only need to score like 26 to 28 points. So for the Bears at Green Bay, I expect the Bears to still lose, but let's cover the spread at 12.5. But over 42.5. The Bears' offense has been kind of coming together. Maybe not that great, but they can put together a string of downs, get to the end zone. And I do expect them to get in the 20s, but low 20s, maybe high teens. But Green Bay will figure out a way to win, but not as dominant as you would think or as they would like. So Bears plus 12.5, over 42.5. Then for Monday Night Football, it's the Rams at the Cardinals. I expect the Cardinals to win actually fairly easily. So right now the current spread is -2.5. I expect the Cards to win by at least 9. This is because the Cardinals' defense can turn turnovers into points, and I expect Stafford to throw at least 1 or 2 interceptions. There's just going to be some offensive miscues by the Rams. I expect it to go over 51 as the Cardinals can convert those turnovers to points. But, the Rams, they still have like a star power. They can get the ball down the field, score some points. But same with the Cardinals. Like, ball gets kicked back to them. They got to bring it from the 20 all the way down to the end zone. I still expect the Cardinals to still score somehow. Field goal, touchdown, but mostly touchdowns. Over 51, Cards -8.5. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on the spreads, leave them down in the comments. If you have any thoughts on what some of the players might do, also leave that down in the comments to help people place their bets. And once again, thanks for watching.